If you want to create your dream life, this is the only thing you need to do. By the end of this video, you are going to learn the biggest secret that the rich aren't telling you. This is why I went from working hard, selling my clothes on Poshmark, working on the weekends, doing everything that I could to get myself out of $25,000 worth of debt. And even though I paid this off within 6 months, I'm now able to earn that same amount of money in my own business in just 1 month. And I'll be the first to tell you that it really wasn't hard. It's actually extremely simple. And I confidently believe that's why more people aren't doing it, because it's so simple. And if you're watching this video, I know that you are not like most people, so by the end of this video, you are going to learn everything that you need to know, so let's get into it. Abraham Maslow defines self-actualization as the realization of fulfillment of one's talents and potentialities, especially considered as a drive or need present in everyone. So think of it like this. Self-actualization means to become the best version of yourself. You may hear this nowadays, people saying, I'm living as my highest self, and this is derived from the hierarchy of needs that is also created by Abraham Maslow. So as you can see at the bottom, it's the physiological needs. So think about your food, your water, shelter, those basic necessities. And then as we go up, we go to the safety needs. And that's really that sense of security. And this is why I always say financial freedom is a feeling from within and not actually an amount of money. And then one above, love and belonging. We all want to be validated, we all want to be loved, and we all want to feel like we're a part of something. And right above that is esteem, that level of self-importance, self-love, appreciation, and that relationship to self is how I really think of esteem. And then up top, we have self-actualization. And not many people are living up here. In my eyes, only 1% of the emotionally rich are living up there. And this is really that desire to become the best version of yourself. And not enough people are living like this because they don't actually know how to, because they don't have those other 4 needs in place. And if I'm being honest with you, most people will never actually get to the top. They'll never reach self-actualization. And that's because we all have layers, deep layers and paradigms that are keeping us stuck, and are keeping us stuck that some people will never get beyond that feeling of financial freedom. Some people will never get beyond that feeling of love and belonging. But what's different about you is that if you're watching this video, I am so confident that by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what you need to do to reach self-actualization. When I was emotionally and spiritually broke, and yes, I was in debt too, I constantly was seeking external validation. I constantly wanted to be liked by everybody. I was always the kind of person to just follow the rules and to fit into the box and to just do what I was told. And this kept me stuck and in the rat race for a long time, which is why I got a job that felt comfortable, but deep down inside, I didn't truly like it. And I knew that it would be more of a stepping stone rather than a forever career. And it was really the breaking point for me once I learned that if I brought in $1 million to my company, I would only earn about $6,000 because I was earning 1% on all of the money that I had brought into the company. And then since I was newer to the company, I was only going to get a 60-40 split. So $6,000 per every $1 million per year. So just to make 6 figures in that job, I would have had to bring in a lot of money. I also didn't really have a strong relationship to myself. I constantly was feeling like I wasn't good enough, I wasn't thin enough, I wasn't this enough. I really wasn't happy with who I was just as I was. I was always striving to be better and striving to do better. And now I confidently believe that you can be a masterpiece and a work in progress. Initially, I was always feeling like I had to be better or do something more, like everything I was doing wasn't enough. And once I learned this simple trick, I was actually able to create and manifest my dream life and actually be happy with the life that I live and look forward to waking up each morning. And it was only when I went through a traumatic health experience that I realized I was very disconnected from myself. I had no spiritual wealth, I had no emotional wealth, and I was really struggling to just feel happy in my own skin. And maybe I was happy on the outside. I've always been the person to make other people laugh, and I was always doing things right. I had a track record of high achievement. I wasn't in love with the life that I had created for myself, and I knew knew that I wanted something magical for my life the same way that you probably do too. Now, when we go through traumatic life experiences, maybe a death of a loved one, a health scare, a breakup, you go through this traumatic life experience that you feel like you may never come out alive. If you've been through something like this, you know exactly what I am talking about. The beauty about these kind of situations is that it disrupts your natural rhythm. So everyone's vibrating on a certain frequency, and it's really difficult to shift our habits, our paradigms, those deeper beliefs that we hold on to so tightly if we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Now, when you disrupt your rhythm, think of this like explosion in your life. Well, now you start vibrating on a different frequency, and this is actually when change occurs in your life. So for me, going through my experience, it totally disrupted my natural rhythm, and this is how I was able to break out of the matrix and how I was able to create my dream life because I was starting from a blank canvas. Now, you're definitely going to want to pay attention here because this is the most important thing that you need to know to create and manifest your dream life, and the one thing that I wish I had learned sooner in life. So take it from me, someone who knows that this one specific thing is what created the massive abundant change in my life and how I went from broke, in debt, and spiritually poor to now living my dream life in a healthy, happy, loving relationship, running my own business, and really doing everything that I am so grateful that I get to do each and every day. I chose to become a conscious creator of my own reality. A conscious creator is defined as somebody who intentionally creates their reality through deliberate thoughts and inspired actions to create their dream life. Now, the way that you become a conscious creator is simply that you take control of your life. You are a painter and you are holding the paintbrush with a blank canvas. Think of it as 5 different parts: health, wealth, love, happiness, and spirituality. So for me, I began to nourish my body and love it for everything that it does for me exactly as it was. And I was able to go from this to this. And now the body that I'm living in, I'm really grateful for and really happy for. And it's more about maintaining a healthy body, living with an 80-20 diet, and really feeling energized in my everyday. Wealth. You have to learn how to create an abundance mindset. You can't try to build an abundant business, an abundant life for yourself without first realizing what are your deep-rooted limiting beliefs around money. Where are you still acting scarce in your life? Are you afraid to tip too much? Do you get nervous when it comes time to split the bill when you're out to dinner with your friends? Next, love. So for me, I had to cut off a lot of negative energy that was in my life. And I like to think of this as lingerers, right? Maybe there are some people in your life, whether they be romantic relationships, whether they be friendships, that are kind of just lingering around and they're not really adding any value to your life. And on the other hand, you're not adding any value to their life. So cut that energy off, and you have to do that in a way that feels right and authentic for you. For me, I had to donate old gifts from past partners. And in terms of friendships, I had to really let go of friendships that were no longer serving me. And you can also do that in a civil and a mutual way. It doesn't always have to be this harsh friend breakup. So really think intuitively about how you want to handle these situations, because while you are a conscious creator of your reality, you're in control. You're holding the pen. You're in the driver's seat of your life. Happiness. You have to decide what makes you happy. For a while, I was so disconnected from myself and I didn't even know what it was that I truly loved. Now I love being in nature. I love traveling. I'm a huge foodie. I love trying new foods, learning about new cultures. I love languages. I love my Italian culture. These were all things that I didn't know that I loved because I was so disconnected from myself and I was living in the rat race. It was only when I decided to become a conscious creator of my reality that I realized life is meant to be lived. And I know it sounds really cliche. I was always the person to post quotes on Instagram and to share things like that. But when it really came down to thinking about it in my own life, I really started to ask myself, what makes you happy? What lights you up? And doing more of that. Picking up hobbies. I started cooking. Now I've healed my relationship with food through cooking. So there's so many different benefits to becoming a conscious creator of your reality. And lastly, spirituality. I began discovering the secret. I began creating a relationship relationship with what I now call my higher goddess, this higher self version of me, and really building a relationship with her and living out every single moment as if I am embodying my higher goddess, the best version of me. And that's what the conscious creator of my reality would do. When I first decided and I made this oath to myself that I really believe that my thoughts create my reality, is when my life changed. Every thought that you think is casting a spell for what you want to happen in your life. And of course, we can't take control of every single thought that comes in, but we can choose what stays. So if you have a thought coming in that maybe you're not happy with, become a conscious creator and decide that you are not going to align with that thought. You are going to release it. Release it from your energetic field. This was also when I began reading The Secret. I discovered the law of attraction that states like attracts like. So like thoughts are going to attract like experiences into your life. So if there is something in your life that you're not happy with, maybe it's your health, maybe it's your love life, I want you to take control of those thoughts and really brain dump it all onto paper. Think about what are the things that are playing on repeat in your mind, and the way you're going to figure that out is by journaling it out. You're going to learn what's going on in your mind when you actually release it with the lid off. You release it without ever thinking somebody is going to read it. When I started journaling with my truest, most authentic self and really sat there like the conscious creator of my reality, is when I began to heal my relationship to self, when I began to heal these different pillars of life, because I began to take massive accountability for who I was. And this is the balancing act of taking massive accountability for who you are without judging yourself. So how can you say, I love the life I have while I create the life of my dreams? You have to come from a place of such strong esteem, such strong self-love to be able to say, I am a masterpiece and a work in progress. And that first starts with you making the decision today that you are a conscious creator. Now, if you want to become the conscious creator of your reality from this moment forward, I want you to leave a comment and say, I'm in. So I know that you truly claim this energy for your life. And I want you to write it down and say, I am the conscious creator of my reality, because the thoughts that you think are becoming your reality in every single moment. And if there are things in your life that you're not happy with or you don't like, you have to think to yourself deep down inside, how can I make changes right now? And if you want to learn exactly how to do that, make sure you watch this video next.